It was a blessing that she got stepped on. I was just telling somebody the other day, it was literally a blessing that somebody kicked my daughter in the head, because that's how we found out that she had a brain tumor. So that one that I showed you first was August, right? That was October.
All right, y'all see that bright part? That's the tumor.
Proverbs 18:10. And it says, the name of the Lord is a strong fortress, and the godly run to him and are safe. That has been my saving grace, because things change around you. Circumstances change, people change, circumstances change. But the Lord is consistent. He's consistent in everything that he does. The grace that he extends towards us, the hope that he gives. And so I just want to encourage that if he did it before, he'll do it again.
Hey, thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way. Hey, pray. Thank God for another day. Hey, I know we could be another way. Hey, yeah.
And it's moving this way. Come on! If your soul's not,
my God,
anchored in Jesus, you will surely drift away. Drift away, Lord.
Yeah.
Drift away, Lord. Baby, my daddy used to tear that song up for praise and worship.
My pastor still tearing it up.
Listen. Cause that's a good, I don't know, them songs right there just get you right. But if you don't know where you've landed in the safe space for influencers to decompress, have fun, and just ask your girl Jessica S. Smith. And I'm super excited. It's another day.
It's another day.
It's another Thursday. It's another day. Welcome.
you gonna get that rap album after all, ain't it?
I'm listen, decree and declare that it shall be so. You know, Christian rap is on the rise.
It is
and
on the
so
rise.
I think I'm about to be spinning a little scripture. Okay? What did Peter do? He didn't do it because he did what the Lord told him. Ayy. But I got one rap song together.
You got one.
Rap song together.
You got one.
Desiree.
Hey.
Desiree.
Hey.
Desiree. But is that
I like that one.
Is it considered a rap song or just a song?
It's a song. It's gonna grow. So we're gonna add some, maybe some verses or something.
Oh, you want a verse?
I mean,
Oh, you spoiled.
Maybe a little verse or something.
Somebody's spoiled.
Y'all did it. Y'all created this monster.
No, y'all have created a monster because nobody, even talking to Coach today, she's like, tell Desiree I said hey. I said she can hear you. She said, Desiree.
I am so tickled.
Desiree.
I am so tickled. I did an interview the other day, and he was like, man, I ain't never seen nobody that had their own theme song before. I was like, thanks,
because
Jess.
she her. She her.
What's up, you guys?
Tell
Welcome
them folks
back.
how you doing, girl, because you already know they want to know.
I'm good. Like, it's the summertime. It's a little humid outside. It's a little hot. A little glistening there.
And before they start talking, because you saying it's summertime and I got this throw on, it's thin.
It is.
It's thin. It's a little nippy in here.
I still wear long sleeves because I'm very cold natured most of the time, and for some reason, like inside cold is a little different from like outside cold for me.
Yeah.
So I'm typically gonna have some sleeves on or a blanket or something on the inside. I even still put heaters at my feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
ma'am. I have a heater in my work from home job.
Yep.
I got my heater in my work from home job,
Yes.
and I need another one because it be like overheating, so it goes.
You don't work the pole heater.
I'm screaming.
That's wild.
But we're gonna have a time
have a good
today,
time.
okay?
We can have a good time.
I know y'all looking at the title, description, or whatever, know what it is. But before we get into our special guest today, listen, y'all already know what time it is. What time is it, Desiree?
Community highlights.
Community highlight. Now that's a song we got to get
Yeah,
together
we gonna
because
make that.
we ain't
We
got
gonna
that
get that
song
one.
together.
Yep.
But no, it's the community highlight time, and I want to do a personal community highlight. She is not just somebody that has been supportive, but I just met this girl maybe like a month or two ago, and she has already like been pouring into the brand of Jessica S. Smith, period.
Yeah.
Like it just asks, just the person that's supposed to offer and be this entrepreneur. Just
Hold up. Not supposed to.
That
it
is the
Thank you.
entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Anyway, she has been doing that. And so I want to shout my girl, Tiffany McCall, out.
Come on.
She is the host of Free Your Mind podcast. And I'm super excited to be doing life with you. Tiffany, this comes from my heart. You've entered my life and you have poured into me like nobody's business, and you really shown me some true accountability. Like you are a stranger and now I feel like I know you. Like you told me the other day, it was like Jessica, accountability is not just about the business part, but it's about life. Because I was going through some things, girl. I've been going through some personal things, and you've been there. And so I just want to say thank you, and I just want to pour the love of the Lord into your space. I pray that everything that you've poured out for the past 5 years, it be brought back to you in double form. I pray right now, Lord, that God is very clear with you, that God breathes on every business, every thought, every attribute, your home, your space, your spaces of influence. I even thank you, Lord, thank the Lord for blessing and blowing on the stages that you come upon, whether it's acting, singing, speaking, hosting, moderating, every aspect and desire of your heart that has been made known to God, and you verbalized it. Hallelujah. I even challenge you to continue to verbalize it to the Lord, and it shall come to pass. So I just want to say I love you, Tiff. Thank you so much. And we love you over here at JessAsk, the podcast. Woo! Y'all go show my girl some love. A Free Your Mind podcast. She also does Freedom Fridays on her Instagram. I mean, if you know how the Erykah Badu era, you know, what do they call them? The neo soul type of feel vibe. That's what my girl give me. Like she chocolate and fine and got the dreads, and you know, she just beautiful, just on the inside out. She her. Yeah. She is her.
Yeah, I love that.
She is her. Okay. And so y'all know I do not pull up nobody that's not legit. I don't. The girl is legit, okay? And so let's get into it, because I know y'all ready to hear from our wonderful guest. Listen, I met this lady, and she had I'm just gonna tell y'all that be DM me to be on the podcast and stuff like that. I really go into prayer about it. Like, so if I don't, for one, if you DM me on Facebook, sometimes I don't see it. So comment like on a photo or something, and then I can go to the request because I do not see it. And so that's what happened with the woman of God that's here today. But she DM'd me, and I didn't see the DM, and then we ended up being at the same event together. So we know this is God. And we had an encounter, and she waited to the end to tell me that she was the one to end. I was like, why you ain't say that earlier when we was talking? She was like, nah, I didn't want to do it, X, Y, Z. But after hearing her story, or at least part of the story, because I ain't even got the full story yet, but hearing her overcoming this disease, and not pertaining to her, but her daughter. Y'all know that my dad has been on his cancer journey, and so when I hear the word cancer, it does something to my chest and my stomach that I hate that word. I do not have a good relationship with cancer, because it has just definitely disrupted some areas in our life, but to God be the glory, right? Yeah. Because there are overcoming stories like the story that we're about to hear today, and so I am proud and excited to introduce you guys to my new friend, my new homegirl, Miss Krystal Boman. Hey. Hello. I know Desiree hit the button. You didn't hear
sure
it, girl,
did.
but you hit it.
Okay.
How
it's
you
my
doing?
Applause button.
Let me tell y'all something. I kept calling her Miss Bowman earlier. She was like, "Don't you call me Miss Bowman?" I said, "Well, I'm supposed to call you Krystal." So, hey, Krystal.
Hey, ma'am.
How you doing, love?
I'm doing well.
Like how? Don't give me no surface butt answer.
Okay.
How are you, Krystal?
I'm doing well. Honestly, I am doing really well. I'm in a space now to where I'm doing better. Through therapy, fasting and praying, I'm in a better space.
It's a lot because you didn't tackle the beast now.
Yeah.
You have tackled the beast.
Yeah.
So let's get to know about you before we start talking about your daughter's journey. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Gordo, Alabama.
Who?
Yeah,
Look like that.
not too much.
Look that up on the map.
You're not gonna find it. I am from Gordo, Alabama. My graduating class only had 75 people, so
Now, ma'am,
that tells you a lot.
Let me tell you something. No, you say 75 people. I
Yeah.
graduated with 10. And I went to school at Fairfield. Shout out to Restoration Academy,
Okay.
home of the Bulldogs. It was private school though. But no, Gordo.
Gordo.
Where's that by?
It's in Pickens County, so it's West
Pickens.
Pickens County. So Gordo, Reform, Carrollton, Aliceville.
Okay.
So it's in between Northport and Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Northport.
Northport. Yeah.
Not Northport.
Okay,
And if y'all don't know where Northport is, it's over there by Tuscaloosa.
Yes.
I went to Roll Tide.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You started. I was like Reform. That sounds familiar. But if you say Northport,
Yeah.
I know exactly. Okay. Now we getting close.
That's where I'm from. It's not many people there, but that's where I'm from.
Okay.
So I'm a wife. We will be married 15 years next month. Yes, glory to God.
That's amazing.
We'll be married 15 years next month, and we have 2 children. Krystal is our oldest. She is just turned 13. And Keegan is 10. They're 2 weeks apart.
Okay. Their birthdays are 2 weeks apart. Oh wow.
Yeah.
wow.
Y'all be broke that way.
Don't ask how that happened.
No, we know how it happened.
You're right.
We know.
My
okay?
grandma said if
Be
never
fruitful.
Mind. I'm gonna
No,
say
tell
that.
us what your grandma said.
Grandma got
Don't
the
spill
wisdom.
the
You know,
tea.
people be like, I don't know how that happened. She was like, well, if you lay down, you know how it happened.
Oh, okay.
So,
Thanks, Grandma.
that holy
That's
hunch.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Yep.
No, don't be ashamed. girl.
Fruitful and multiply. You're right.
Be
That's
fruitful.
it.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Bible.
Yes.
Holy hunching is Bible. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it here.
Yes.
You did what you were supposed to do.
Yes.
All right.
I ain't having no more though.
You not? You done?
I'm done.
Was that your goal to have 2 and be done?
Well, here's the thing. My husband is the youngest of 13.
Ooh.
So 2 is it. Okay.
Because you know he can be
Yep.
fruitful.
I'm done. I'm done.
What's your husband's name?
Ty.
Hey, Ty.
Shout out to Ty.
She was like, I see what's in your bloodline.
I saw it.
Did he desire a big family? Because most people that come from big families want big families.
He did desire a big family, but
You shut
no.
it down, sis.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No.
He's like, the way this is set up.
This is
What
it.
about your side of the family? How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 older sisters, so I'm the baby of 3 girls.
Oh, so both of y'all the baby. So how did that work out?
It's still working.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about in the beginning.
Girl, it's still it's
Oh, that's what you meant. Oh, it's still
It's
because
still working.
it was okay.
Yeah,
I got
because-
you. Slow moment.
I'm just like this ain't gonna work because we both like strong will, which is a good thing. We're both strong will, and we're both are like, I want it my way or it ain't no way.
Yeah.
And so having to come together and being together, we've been together 20 years and we've only been married 15. You know, it was a struggle.
How did y'all meet?
A mutual friend.
A mutual
A
friend.
mutual friend in Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did y'all do the blind date thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we met at a conference actually that he was in the business for, Primerica at the time, and so his brother was doing it, and our friend was doing it, and so that's how we met. And he at the time he thought I had a bunch of kids
Why he thought that?
because it was a bunch of kids there, and they were all just like gravitated to me.
Oh,
And
so you
so-
always been like a motherly.
I love
figure.
children.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but not enough to have anymore. Yeah, let's make that clear, okay? No.
So it did. So your journey to becoming a mother, how was that? Did you because I know a lot of people deal with fertility. What is that?
Infertility, yeah.
Okay.
Infertility,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't deal with infertility. I did deal with fibroid tumors.
Oh, listen.
Yep.
I don't know nothing about it, but Desiree.
Yep.
Yeah,
Shit.
I dealt with that. And when we first started dating, it was the cycles was so bad, like I was passing out because I was losing so much blood. And so about a month and a half into us dating, he came to my apartment and I had passed out. And I don't know how long I had been there passed out, but I had passed out because was losing so much blood. And so that's kind of how the whole fertility thing worked for me. He took me to the emergency room, and the doctors was like, well, you need to have an emergency hysterectomy. I was 22.
Wow.
I was 22. And I was like, this ain't what the Lord got set up for me. Because he knew I wanted children.
Let me pause you right there, because some people slow like me, and
You're not slow.
I'm just gonna say it. So when the hysterectomy, when they do the hysterectomy part, that means that he was trying to prevent you from having kids.
Yeah,
right.
That would have taken my uterus out, so I wouldn't have been able to have children.
All right.
22.
Yes, I did not know that, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I was just trying to make sure I was in the right scientific mindset.
And a lot of women deal with that. A lot
Yeah.
of women deal with the PCOS. They deal with that. They deal with just the infertility altogether. And so I knew I wanted children, but I was afraid at that point because I was just like, this is not what I've been praying for. And of course, we weren't talking about marriage or children at that point, but you know, him finding me like that, and we just started dating, I was like, this is gonna run this man off. He's gonna be like, what is wrong with this lady? You know, but it didn't. Like it literally drew him closer to me.
Wow.
And so, you know, him having all those siblings, I think, kind of helped. Cause he knew how to navigate. Like he had sisters that, you know, dealt with cycles and things like that. So I think that helped a whole lot. And it's just, I'm telling you, it was nothing but the grace of God that, because I could have died like there if he wouldn't have shown up.
Yeah. Have you had any more scares that were similar to that, dealing with the fibroids or anything? Because I've heard that women can have multiple encounters with that.
They can. So that was when I was 22. Not anything like passing out like that. When it got to the point to where the doctor was like, you know, you need to have an emergency hysterectomy. My mom was there, and she's like, she's 22. We need a second opinion. She's like, we're not doing that. This was in Tuscaloosa. So we found me another doctor here in Birmingham, and she was like, you know, you do have the fibroid tumors, and then that's where the birth control came in, trying to control it. And so then I end up just having to have surgery to remove the fibroids. I had that surgery. She initially thought I only had 3 fibroid tumors. And small as I am, because at the time I was only 106 pounds, but
Lord.
I was always looking like I was 4 months pregnant because of the tumors. Like they were that big. So she thought that it was only 3 from the ultrasound. When she got in there, it was actually 7. And they were like the size of grapefruits. That's why I was looking pregnant like all of the time.
Desiree, you gotta go and bring yourself on the screen, because Desiree's story almost sounds similar to that, and when I hear that, I just get scared. Like the thought of it just scares me as a woman, because I'm like, how do you know? Like, could you not know before? Like, can they not screen for stuff like that before?
No, you have to have. So I've always had pretty heavy cycles, right? Even starting out at a young age, which is why they actually put me on birth control, was to kind of help regulate it a little bit. But around probably 2017, I just started having a different type of pain. And so they scheduled, you had to have an ultrasound, okay? And I was like, oh, okay, ultrasound, like you think, like you see on the TV, they put the little jelly stuff on your belly. No, baby, that ain't it. That's not it.
What is it?
It's an internal ultrasound.
Yeah.
So this is long probe thing, you know, and they go internal in your vagina and your
Very
uterus.
internal.
Very
So
internal.
it's worse than like an annual.
To me, it was.
It is because they're probing, they're looking, they're moving it,
And
you
you
know.
up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
They
awake.
going like all the way up.
I mean,
It feels like it's like right here.
I mean, I would have feel like. So you know,
Yeah.
when you got your annual, you know, you prepared for those things. But I
Yeah.
wasn't prepared. But in that evaluation, they discovered that I had fibroid tumors as well. And so I had kind of went on this journey trying to change all the things, the health things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And probably around 2018, 20. So I was going like every 6 months having a evaluation just to kind of monitor them.
Yeah.
And they were growing.
Yep.
So I had 5 and kind of similar thing. Like I decided to have the myomectomy, which is the removal of the fibroids. And she got in there and she actually ended up removing 11.
Yeah.
There was 11. And my situation went a little sideways because during recovery, so it was like an overnight stay, but during recovery, I ended up having internal bleeding. So I just remember at some point that evening waking up and the room was just full of people, you know, and they're talking and then they got to tilting the bed back and forth. And then they began to like try to start new IVs. And I finally just stopped one of the nurses. So I'm laying there. And I said, hey, what's going on? And he was trying to be so sweet and so calm. And he was like, well, you know, you've lost a lot of blood, and we're just trying to get you a new IV started so we can get you some fluid so you can get the feeling better. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, not really understanding, right? And I ended up, long story short, I ended up having to go to the ICU. They PICC line, so they couldn't get my veins, so they had to go in my neck, give me a PICC line in my neck, start blood. I had to go back into surgery, and so she could sew up all the holes that she had pulled the fibroids from. And so 3 nights in the ICU, 8 units of blood, 4 bags of platelets and plasma, you know, and I'm grateful that I'm here. But the thing was, you know, and everybody's journey is different. I kind of knew, I had the understanding going in that it was a possibility that they could come back. Right. And so even, so it was probably maybe about the end of 23, I started to experience some similar symptoms. And I went back and she was like, there were a couple of little small ones, you know? And so my thought process has always been like, why is this such an issue? It's a woman's issue, but it's primarily a huge Black woman's issue. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's like food. I don't know. All these things could be factors, you know, but at the end of the day, your health advocacy is very, very important because I ended up switching doctors early on because the initial OBGYN that I went to, it was a guy. And for him, he was just like, oh, you know, they're just fibroid tumors, and you know, just take some Tylenol. And I was like, you're just you're telling you know, at this time I think I was maybe like my late 20s, something-year-old woman that she has tumors in her uterus. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up switching my doctor, who was, you know, she just kind of allowed me to explore some, you know, like the health things and stuff like that. But she was like, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, those things work and sometimes they don't. But I'm here to support you in whatever you want to do. And, you know, so I, too, you know, still have a desire to have children. And, you know, that's still my prayer. Yes, thank you very much. But, you know, just sometimes, you know, that just kind of sits in the back of your head, you know. So I definitely understand the journey. And I'm pretty sure there's so many women out there who can also sympathize with your experience.
Because it's not... It was scary. It was scary.
Sound like I'm a visual person. So I'm over here like, I had to I saw my face on the camera and I was looking at Desiree and like I ain't ever heard this story before. I'm looking at Desiree like, it's like I don't want to go through it. I don't want that to be my testimony. You get permission to say, nah, Lord, I don't want that to be my testimony. I don't want the fibroid thing. So at that point, were you fearful that you weren't going to become a mother?
I did, because that doctor, you know, speaking of switching doctors, that doctor, you know, initially told me, even though you're 22, your chances of having children, you might as well count that out. And I was like, no, that ain't what I talked to the Lord about, and that ain't what He done told me that I'm gonna have to be able to do. And so we found me a doctor here and at Brookwood, and she was just like, you know, you have the tumors, and we need to get them out. She was like, because it's going to just progress and get worse if you don't. She's like, you're going to continue to fall out. Things are going to progressively get worse if you don't do this. And so I had that initial surgery. She went in and took those 7 out, and I was doing perfect up until I got pregnant with my daughter in 2011.
So 2011, you get pregnant with your daughter, right?
Yep.
All right. So between that time, were you like, okay, God, well, you were good. Like you weren't having any problem with tumors or anything like that. And then boom, you get pregnant. Now, were y'all trying to get pregnant at that time?
Yeah, might as well say we were.
Well, I mean,
we weren't trying to prevent it.
I know what was happening. But you know what I mean by trying.
So we got married in 2010. And then, yeah, I mean, I was pregnant a year later, you know?
Wow.
So, but when she was born in 2012, the tumors were growing with her. Like, the fibroid tumors came back.
So did you have to have a C-section or?
I had to have a C-section.
Oh,
because
God.
the thing is, those fibroid tumors, again, they make you lose so much blood on your cycles that I couldn't have had her vaginally, because she was like, you know, you can die on the table if I try to let you push her out.
And that's another reason why it's important to have a good doctor, because
Yes.
they say that, and you hear me when I say they say, because this is the level of ignorance that I have,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm aware that black women or women of color in general have a higher risk of death rate
Absolutely.
birthing their child.
Yeah.
And so thank God that was not your story.
That was not my story. And so, you know, she's like, you're going to have a C-section. Because, of course, I think most women want to have their children naturally, or
Right.
at least try to. And so that was, you know, kind of a good punch. But I was like, hey, if you can get her here safely and keep me here safely, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And so the tumors came back, and so I had to have a C-section with her. And of course, my doctor was like, you know, you don't need to have any more children after her, because again, this may not be a good thing for you, you know. And so I ended up getting pregnant with my son in 2015, and the tumors were there.
They came back.
They came back. And she was not pleased with me. She was like, I thought I told you you don't need to get pregnant no more. Because the tumors were growing as he was growing. So they didn't want them to basically suffocate him in the
Right.
womb.
Okay, so
'Cause
that makes sense.
Yeah, because they can do that. They
Wow.
can literally kill the baby in the womb.
But your son has lived a healthy life.
Oh, yeah, he's
right?
perfectly fine.
He's in is he in athletics?
He's in basketball.
Okay.
He's in basketball, and so he's doing amazing. So after he was born, I had to have a partial hysterectomy. So when I say ain't having children, that would be the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Hey, y'all need to be glad you're here, okay? Because millions didn't make it.
Yes.
But you
Yes.
were one that did.
I'm telling
No,
you.
like I would be giving that death stare every day. Don't clean your room. You know what? If it wasn't for me, you know how
Not
the
to knock
old
in
folks
here.
used to- don't black mamas be like,
I brought you here. I'll take you out.
I'll take you out because you
Yeah.
almost took me.
Yeah.
All right, but no, we got to get back to the point where so now is you suffered. Let's just call it a spade to have the kids that you have, but particularly with Krystalline,
Krystalline, yes.
having Krystalline. And you experiencing being a natural mother now you're not playing mama to nobody else's kids, like you are an actual mother.
Yeah.
What was that journey like from the time that you birthed her to the time? What was that period like from the time you birthed her to the time that you found out about the diagnosis of cancer?
It was amazing, and I say that because man said that she wasn't supposed to be here. And so for her to be here and to be thriving, and it's 3 years difference between her and Keegan, you know, we were living our best little life. You know, it was just me, her, and my husband at the time. She was the youngest of, you know, my mom's grandkids, and so of course she's spoiled.
Yeah.
You know, so we were just living our best little life. And, you know, public school time came around. So she got into public school, and she was doing fine up until third grade. Third grade is when it literally felt like my life just fell apart.
Okay,
if
and
I'm being honest.
how old was she?
She was 7.
She was 7.
She
So
was 7.
third grade, around what time of the year?
This was March.
So it's springtime. So she's exiting the third grade. Mm-hmm. Okay.
She would getting ready to exit the third grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what happened during that time?
So she was still in public school, and they were doing a math lesson, and they were laying on the floor, doing something with the little blocks or whatever. And a little girl stepped up on a step stool to get water, and she stepped back down, and she stepped on Krystalline's head. And it was a blessing that she got stepped on. I was just telling somebody the other day, it was literally a blessing that somebody kicked my daughter in the head, because that's how we found out that she had a brain tumor. That is literally how we found out. Her teacher sent her to the nurse, of course. The nurse gave her ice pack. sent her back to class. You know, we never got a phone call that she had been stepped on the head. That's another story. We
I
never
know
got
you went off.
Actually, I didn't.
Well, in your brain. I'm sorry.
Oh, in my brain. Yeah.
Like, I know we always have, we might not go off like that.
Yeah.
But we always go off right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my husband's like, you know, you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. But that's how we found out. She got stepped on, and so I picked her up from school because she was a car rider. I picked her up from school and, you know, gave her a snack like I usually would, and I said, how was your day? And she said, my head still hurts. And I said, what do you mean it still hurts? And she was like, it's been hurting since early. So she never told me that she got stepped on the head until a day later. And so that night that she got stepped on the head, she just continued, like she woke up in a panic, just holding her head. And I told my husband, I said, something is not right. And so the next morning I took her to a standing ER in Pelham, and they were like, you know, she does have a concussion. And I was like, okay. And then
She stepped on her head like that?
yeah,
That sounds like a jump. It's like you think about little kids. These are little kids.
3rd grade. And I don't know, you know, if she stepped more than once. I don't know if like you said, I don't know if she jumped down on it. I don't know. I still do not have the full story of literally what happened. All I know is she was stepped on the head. And so I took her to that standing ER, and then the second night she did the same thing, just screaming in pain. And I was like, we need to take her to Children's. And I took her, and the doctor's like, she does have a concussion, but she also has a brain tumor.
Wow.
He said it just like that, like it was an everyday practice. And I was like, okay, so what do we need to do? I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, she has a brain tumor, and she's probably had it since birth.
So, okay, wait. So,
Yeah.
all of it, did she experience like headaches or anything? Like, was it like hindsight looking at it?
Hindsight, she had one seizure, but at the time she had a fever with the seizure. So her pediatrician said it was probably a feeble seizure. That was the only indication that we ever had. So to say that she was literally kept by the Lord, because it's no telling what was really going on, and we just never knew. We never had any other indications that anything was happening with her. She was living her best little life, in school every day, hated to miss school. So, and that's literally
Was she
how we
able
found
to
out.
like interact with the different kids, like the activities they have? Like, I know they have like not play dates, the stuff outside, you know, PE and
She was
all
doing
this. She was
everything.
doing all of that
She was
and had
doing-
no issue until she got stepped on.
No issues. So, and you know, I've always asked him, you know, could that kid could have activated? And he was like, that's not possible. And I'm just like, well, to me, that seems reasonable to me, because otherwise nothing else had happened. But that's how we found out. This was 2019.
So did they? Okay, so let's move forward with the. Okay, now we know that she has this brain tumor. Take me to that day. Where are the Bomans? Where are you in your mind?
I was lost. I called my mama screaming and crying. I called my sisters. And I was just like, what happens at this point? And he was like, you know, it's the size of a lemon was the size of it. And it was right behind her right eye. And I said, well, you know, do we need to remove this? Like, what do we need to do at this point? And he was like, well, there's really nothing that we need to do right now, because it's not affecting her. He said, if she wouldn't have got stepped on the head, we never would have known it was there. So if it's not bothering her, we're not going to touch it, because the place where it was located, it could have messed with her literally physically. He's like, she may not have any quality of life if we go in and touch anything because of what they had to do. And so from 2019, of course, we, you know, started seeing a neurologist at Children's, and he was like, you know, this is where it's placed, but we don't need to touch it. So we watched it from 2019 to 2022, and it grew from a lemon to a grapefruit in 2 years.
So I think I just need clarity. Okay, so when you say y'all watched it, what's the process of watching it?
Doing MRIs every 6 months, just to make sure that it wasn't growing. And from 19 till 21, well, the beginning of 22, it had not grown. So it had flowed from the end of 21 up until March of 2022 is when it just like literally seemed like it grew overnight, because that was a time frame. We were at our 6 months appointments, and it's just like it just grew out of nowhere.
So at that point, was she showing it? Because I know you on alert at this point. Like,
Yeah.
if it's a headache, if she sneezed too hard, like you're right there. Like, so was she showing any signs from that gap?
It was migraines here and there, but it wasn't anything. Like 1 or 2 times it would be to where she couldn't even get out of bed because of the migraines. And of course we had to call the doctor. He brought us in to do emergency MRIs with contrast and all of that. But still at those times it was not growing. It had not grown from the lemon to the grapefruit that we had saw like within 6 months. It had not grown that much.
So during this period, like I really want to get into your mind, right? Like, where is your mind as a mother? Like, okay, I done had these fibroids. They said I wasn't supposed to have a guy, but now I got her, and now you telling me that it's a tumor on her brain, and they trying to act like it's nothing, but I know it's something. Like the brain is dead. God, what you doing?
Those were my exact words. Like, what we doing right now? And I know that we're not supposed to question God, but I was like, look,
No, I asked the Lord some questions.
I'm like, hey, what? I know that I'm not going to be able to see what you're doing, but I need some answers, because what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to take their word and not get a second opinion? Am I supposed to just sit back and just, to me, it felt like she was deteriorating, but I knew that she wasn't, because she was still living her best little life. Nothing was bothering her besides a headache here and there. And we just kept on with life. We kept doing our appointments every 6 months. And that was it. But in my mind, I was like, okay, is my child, am I going to go walk into her room and she's not there anymore? Am I going to, I just didn't know. I was fearful, being totally transparent. I was completely fearful, because you just don't know. And you never know what can trigger the next thing, what can this lead to, And so that's where we were up until March of 2022, when the neurologist called and he was like, hey, we got to move. He's like, we got to move fast, because the tumor has grown, and if it continues to grow, it's going to take her eyesight, because it was sitting behind her right eye. And I mean, she needed glasses, but, we didn't know of anything other than that, because nothing else was bothering her.
Right.
And so that was March. That was March of 22.
And that was still at Children's.
Yeah, that was March of 22. And so, of course, we had to get the surgery scheduled and all of that. And then she had surgery in June 16th of 2022. And they went in and removed the tumor.
And was that obviously was like a successful?
It was successful. The type of tumor she has is called ganglioma. And if you're not in the space of your child having a brain tumor, you will not know that there are over 2,000 types of brain tumors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's more children with possibly with tumors than that don't know.
That don't know. So when I tell people, if your child's complaining of a headache, listen to them. Don't just give them Tylenol and Motrin and just rotate it. You need to see, because a lot of the times the doctors will not even just willingly do an MRI on a child or an adult for that matter. It's just not something that they do. You have to request those things. And most of the times you have to be adamant about, okay, I need you to do this. And if you can't find one doctor to do it, you need to find somebody else, because this maybe could have been prevented, for somebody else.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, listen to your children. They're telling you something for a reason. Now, if your child acting and don't want to go to school or whatever the case is, but listen to them. Pay attention to their mannerisms. Pay attention to if they're sleeping a whole lot more than what they used to.
Yeah.
It's different things like that you have to watch, because it could be there and you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
So repeat the type of tumor it is.
It's called ganglioma.
Ganglioma. All right. So with that tumor, did the doctor say that it came from a specific thing, or how would it develop?
Here's the thing. They don't know. They don't know about any of these tumors, the brain tumors. They don't know why they're there, how they're there. A lot of people contributed to it. May be in the foods. It may be too much sugar that they're eating. We don't know. Nobody really knows. And so, you know, us being at St. Jude is why they're trying to figure it out, you know, like the trials and stuff like that. So they're doing a whole lot of research trying to figure out why there's so many children that has brain tumors.
I'm so glad you brought St. Jude up, because St. Jude is a very well known, I don't want to say popular, because I mean that's popularity can sound it, but they're very well known for doing some intensive work for kids, and they're asking for different donations. I'm getting chills right now, and I don't want to cry, but they're really. I've heard so many good things about St. Jude. So can you tell me how you went from children's to St. Jude, and why did you needed that or she needed that transition?
So December of 23. So from her surgery in 22 up until 24, perfectly fine. No issues, living her best little life still. So December 23, she woke up just out of the blue and she said, my back is hurting. And I was like, okay. And I tried not to show her that I was worried, right? And so December 23, up until June of last year, it got to the point to where she could not even walk. And they were supposed to be doing scans at Children's every 3 months after her surgery. They were only doing them every 6. And I didn't find this out until after the fact, but different story. And so June of last year, you know, they were sending us to physical therapy. They had put her on pain medications, heating pads, just all the things. Well, come to find out, her brain had started leaking fluid.
From the side of where she had the surgery on?
Well, we really don't know. We really don't know, because what happened was June of last year, we were at an event in Calera, and she said, Mom, I feel like I'm about to pass out. Of course, I didn't overreact, but I took her on to Children's, and the ophthalmologist came in, you know, just looking at her eyes or whatever, and he came back in and he said, Ms. Boman, her brain is full of fluid. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, we just had an appointment not even 2 months ago. And he was like, her brain is full of fluid. He's like, I need to get your doctor. He went and got the doctor. He came in with 3 other people. And I was like, what is going on right now? And he was like, we need to take her into emergency surgery. And I was like, for what? He said, if you would not have brought her in tonight, she could have fallen asleep and not woken up tomorrow morning because of all the fluid on her brain. And I said, well, what needs to happen? He said, we need to go in within the next hour and a half, drain this fluid off of her brain and put a shunt in. So basically what that is, they go back into the spot where they did the initial surgery and place a tube which runs from the top of her head down behind her ear, and it filters out through her stomach. And she'll, according to them, she'll have that the rest of her life, because her body does not flush out the fluid like ours does. It collects in her brain. And so that can cause her to lose her vision, or cause her to, you know, she could die from that. And so that was last year. And so we spent 7 days at Children's after this. And so on the 6th day, her neurologist came in and he said, I have good news and bad news. He said, the bad news is, no, he said, which one do you want first? And Krystal said, I want the good news because I'm hungry. So which one? And so
Just like a child.
she was like, come on. And so he was like, well, the bad news is, no, he said, the good news is, you know, we got the shunt placed, you know, all of that is looking good. He said, but the bad news is that your tumors have come back and they have spread. So the type of tumor that she has is not supposed to come back and is not supposed to spread. Hers did right the opposite. And so she initially started out.
So did they I'm sorry. So did they misdiagnose the original tumor, or? But so the tumors that redeveloped was still the
ganglioma.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I thought that they had misdiagnosed too until we got to St. Jude, and I was like, no, this is what she has. It's just a rare case that they come back. So she only had one initially, and when they come back, it was literally half of her brain.
Wait, hold up. You said you looking it up, Desiree? Oh,
yeah.
So At first, the first tumor was just big enough to like, it was the lemon, then the grapefruit. And now we go from draining the fluid, and St. Jude tells you that it's half of her brain. So did Children's...
Children's told me initially that it was half of her brain. This was when we were still at Children's. In that 7-day stay, on that 6th day, he came in and he showed us the pictures. He was like, it has literally taken over her brain. So that is, all of that white is
the tumor. I don't know if they can see this.
Yeah.
Right here. The light. But the white part was her brain.
Well, the bigger picture is her brain, and all of the white is the cancer. Yeah. So that was June. And so we saw a neurologist, the oncologist, all those people at Children's. And, of course, their thing was, we need to play support. We need to get chemo started as soon as possible. And I wasn't comfortable with that because, they started asking us about freezing her eggs because, chemo messes with your fertility and all of those things.
How old was she at this time?
I'm sorry?
How old was she?
She was, what's this year? 11.
11, okay.
Yeah.
So they start talking about freezing her eggs. Okay, let me just talk about how the enemy works. Because I'm looking at this from a spiritual point too. So the same thing or the same idea, because we'll say, oh, the enemy didn't come with me this way. No, it got some different coloring, but the same foundation, right? So the enemy is trying to come for you in your motherhood, and then now your daughter. So the enemy, the legacy that you uphold, you must be a dangerous woman.
He trying it.
You must be. That's all I can think.
Yeah.
Because literally, it's like, oh, I'm finna mess with these eggs. I'm trying to mess with these eggs. I'm trying to disrupt the legacy of this family. Wow. Okay. So their children's telling you that they want to freeze eggs, and you like, nah, fam. What?
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. So is that when you made the decision? I'm trying to figure out what was the decision that made you go to St. Jude? Because ain't St. Jude in like Tennessee or something like
Memphis,
that?
yeah. I asked Children's because what they wanted to do was play support here, and she would go in once a week to Children's and have chemo, and that would have been for 24 weeks. And I, when they initially said it, and I said, well, once you place the port, how long after that are you going to start chemo? He said within an hour. I said, absolutely not. I said, you're not doing that. And so we asked for a second opinion from Children's, and the oncologist came out and blatantly told us, he was like, they're going to give you the same answer that I'm going to give you. I said, well, I want them to tell me no. And he was like, okay. He was like, but there is no money in childhood cancer research. And I think that
the oncologist told you that there's no money in childhood research.
And he's right in that, but it was just your delivery in it.
Right. That was your concern.
No, yeah, and so I think that's what pushed me over the edge. I was like, I'm done with you.
Oh, wow.
And so when I asked them for the second opinion and they would not refer me, there's power in social media. I reached out to some people on social media, and I was like, we need some second opinions. And if you know anything about St. Jude, you have to be referred.
I didn't know that.
You have to be referred. It can be by another family, but they're going to take you probably quicker, I would say, if it came from a doctor.
Right.
And so with him not referring us, I reached out myself. And I emailed St. Jude. And I know that everything that has happened up until this point, it was God connecting the dots. Literally every last one of them. And I say that because I reached out to this man on a Friday, the doctor at St. Jude. He called me that Sunday. And you don't hear from the surgeons.
He called you?
He called
on
the
a
doctor
Sunday?
On a Sunday.
Wow.
I was asleep. I missed his call. I called him back. He was on the phone with another family. And so then he ended up calling me back. And he was like, hey, Miss Boman. And I was like, his name is Dr. Clemo. And I was like, hi, Dr. Clemo. And I was telling him I was asleep. And he was like, you deserve the rest. And I was like, who is this fella?
So first of all, because the energy is different. Me and Desiree was just talking about customer service. Customer service is needed everywhere. Like everywhere. So now you probably getting the language that you've been wanting for a while. Wow.
It was literally when he said, "You need rest," I was like, okay, where this man come from?
Mm-hmm.
And from that conversation up until now, he texts, he will call. He's like, you'll hear from. So when I talked to him on that Sunday and I told him what was happening, and I was like, they're wanting to start chemo on her next week. He was like, no, do not do that. He was like, if you reached out to me, I'm going to help you. He said, if you will allow us to help her, I'm going to help you. He said, there are so many other trial drugs out there that she qualifies for. He was like, if you're willing to let us help, we'll help her. I said, please. And so he was like, all right, give my nurse until Wednesday and she'll call you. She called me on Tuesday. And, just getting all the paperwork. And she said, can you all be here in the next week and a half? I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, I know that I know everything's moving fast. I know. She was like, but we need to get her here. And I was like, okay. And
so in that process, did they have to request like records and stuff from children?
They handle everything.
Okay.
I could have gotten her records, but they have a team of people that get all the records and all that. Once I told him, I gave him the go ahead, I stepped back. I didn't have to do anything but show up in Memphis a week and a half later. That was it. And you speak about donations. A lot of people don't realize St. Jude runs strictly off of donations. Everything. And a lot of people only think, like from the commercials, that we only don't have to pay for medical bills. No, we never receive a medical bill, but they also provide housing free of charge. They reimburse you for travel. You don't have to pay for food the entire time that you're there.
Are you kidding me? I did not. Desiree, did you know this?
Mm-mm. Not the like the expenses and things like
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know the expenses. I knew the medical part.
You don't pay for. So their thing is, we only want you to help your child get better. And that has been it. So when people say, oh, y'all go to St. Jude, I'm like, yeah, but it's so much more to that commercial than you see. I promise you. We don't have to pay for absolutely nothing. Regardless of how you travel to get there, which we drive because it's only 4 hours, they reimburse you for gas. If we had to fly, they would reimburse us for that. Regardless of how you come in, they reimburse you for everything.
And they treat you better than the folks that you actually got to bill for.
Pay. Yeah.
No, that's and
wild.
it's not dogging, because I really think I've heard some success stories from children's, right?
Yeah.
I've heard success stories from UAB, Brookwood, or whatever. It's some success stories. But when you specialize in something like cancer, right? It's the specialization, the center around specialization. When you're doing that and you're having success stories and you're serving, that's a servant's mindset.
Yeah.
So,
Like.
And the thing is, Dr. Clemo is her neurologist at St. Jude. I talked to that man one time. That was that Sunday. So when we made it to Memphis in August of last year, the 14th is when we had to arrive. I still had not seen him. I wouldn't have known who he was if I wouldn't have Googled him. I wouldn't have known anything about this man. We were standing outside of the cafeteria one day, talking to another family, and he walked by. And I said, hey, Dr. Clemo. And he was like, hey, Krystal. And I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, hold up. So you don't know him. So that mean he researched you?
Yeah.
Yes. So when I say the Lord connected every single dot that needed to be connected in a straight line, I'm telling you. And that man gave me and Krystal the biggest hug, like he had been knowing us forever. And I had never met this man. Never met him. Talked to him one time. And so it's the customer service. He has the best bedside manners that I've ever seen in my life. Ever seen in my life. And I tell him all the time, I appreciate you for listening to God, because you are in the position of giving my child a second chance at life. And he was like, I'm just serving. Those are his exact words.
And how long do you know how long he been in medicine or being at St. Jude at least?
I don't know. I know he's He's been there at least over 10 years because there's a Facebook page that we have for St. Jude families. And so the research that I was talking about that I went on Facebook, every time, I was looking up something, his name was the only name popping up. You need to reach out to Dr. Clemo. He's a godsend. That's all I kept hearing. And even up until this day, just yesterday, I had to refer a family from Birmingham to him. And he's the type of person, when we were there from August 14th until September 20th, because we had to stay that length of time, he was calling. He was like, hey, y'all good? You need anything? He was texting. He was calling. He was like, how did clinic go today? How did your MRIs go today? And it's not just us. He is like that with every one of his patients. So to have that amount of time and still performing surgeries on people, he has done surgeries on people that other doctors have said it is not possible. You don't need to try to do this. He's like, yeah, I can do that. And he's been very successful at it. And so that's how we ended up at St. Jude. We were there for about a little over a month, because once they started her on the chemo, they had to make sure, she didn't have any reactions to it or anything like that. Right. And so the commercials do not do that place justice.
No, thank you for making us aware of that, because that's some of these commercials. I mean, yeah. So, but I've never necessarily questioned St. Jude, but I didn't know the extent of how they serve the family. So,
and they even have a school. They have an entire school. Like when Krystal was up there, she was still, getting her schoolwork done. They have an entire school. They have a salon for the kids, get their nails done, hair done, and the entire place is ran off of donations.
So that was 2022.
No, this was last year.
Last year. Okay, so 2024. Now we're in 2025. Where's Krystal in now?
That girl thriving.
And
she is thriving. She is she's taking.
What about the testimony that was at the rink? That's what I'm trying to get you to get to that answer. Look, she's thriving, and she's taking chemo at home twice a day. She's giving it to herself. She's just very mature for her age, and I think all of this has made her mature. But she's doing amazing. She is she wants to be a cosmetologist. She's gotten a full ride to school already. She living her best life. She's living her best life. So she's still on chemo, but did they take what's going on with the side of her brain?
That picture that I showed you,
because you got to give me clarity, because I got two pictures that I didn't see.
Okay, so that one that I showed you first was August, right? All right, look at that one. That was October.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I gotta pull this. Okay, hold on. Is the light all the way up on this?
It may not be. Let me see.
Turn the light up on so I can show them the difference.
Hold on, let me see.
I was trying to do that too.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there it is.
Okay. All right. So this is the same picture. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all the picture again. So the white is hold on.
Right there.
Right here?
Yep.
This good? All right, y'all see that bright part? Yeah, I need to turn it a little bit. This bright part, right? That's the tumor. This next picture is from when?
October of last year.
Wow.
The total different brain.
Wow.
And you know what? Her oncologist, when he showed us those pictures, he was like, this ain't even the same brain. He was like, we have never seen this within a 2-month span. Now, mind you, this is a trial drug that she's on.
Wow.
And she's the only African-American female on the medicine. So there was really no, if she breaks out, what can we do for her? None of that. It was no research on it, because she's the first. And I was like, girl, you setting records at the age of 12.
Come on.
Like you setting somebody up, and we've been telling her from the beginning, this whole journey ain't even about us. It's somebody coming behind us that's gonna need to see and hear. If she can go through this, what I'm going through it don't even matter. The stuff that we complain about on a daily basis, it don't even matter. We've been telling her that from the beginning, and we've also been telling her if he did it before, he will do it again.
Yes.
My God.
That has been our motto.
My God.
That's what's on our T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, and
That are for purchase.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
For
All right. Listen. We got my daddy just told me that his chemo is $7,800. The new chemo that they about to start him on for the is $7,800 for the copay. Okay.
Oh my God.
So when people say, "Hey, can you help?" Medical bills. Y'all think everything cute. Y'all on the other side of that, y'all praying, but prayer. Thank you, Lord. Payment. Blessing seed in the ground. We need that too.
I mean, because you have to think about, I'm still trying to maintain a marriage. I'm still trying to maintain being a mother to my 10-year-old that's like, you know, all the attention is on my sister. I'm still trying to maintain that my husband is the only one working. You know, I'm trying to make sure that I'm still checking off boxes that my marriage still going to be intact when I get back home. I was gone for a month and a half. You know, marriage is, you need your spouse.
Yeah.
You know, my son needed me. And so, you know, we had people to start GoFundMes for us. But also in the process, I started her a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And it's called Standing with Krystal. And I did that because when we got there in August, I literally had to go into prayer and fasting to ask the Lord to help me stay focused. Because there are so many moving pieces around you. You see all these children that are tubes up their noses. You know, they're crying in pain. You see all of these things, and it's just like, we're not there, and I'm grateful for that, but there is somebody there that they need that encouragement.
Yeah.
You know, there are parents walking around like they hadn't slept in days, and most of them probably haven't because their children are literally deadly sick. And so at one point I felt guilty because I was like, she's here, but I still feel guilty because, you know, when you look at her, you can't tell anything is wrong with her. You can't, but you look at these other children and these other mothers and they're just like zoned out almost.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I started her nonprofit because when we were there that month, people were sending Krystal and things from literally all over the world. From her Facebook page that I started. And so I was like, you know, these other children need to know that they're not forgotten about. These parents need to know that they're not forgotten about. And so we started her nonprofit, and every time we go back, which is every 2 months right now for scans, we take back joy bags. And so we put like Slinkies in there, or like remember the slap bracelets? We put those, you know, notepads, blankets and pillows, just stuff just to let these kids know you're still a child, you know, and you're not forgotten about. And so that's what her nonprofit does. And, you know, people are still pouring into that on a daily basis, you know, buying her T-shirts. My friend that makes the T-shirts, she gives all of that money back to us. You know, she makes them, but she's like, here, y'all need this. You know, my husband is the only one working.
Yeah.
And so, you know, bills are still
billing.
They still billing.
Alabama Power does not care.
They do not care. And so I'm telling you, the journey has been, you know, people always say, I don't know how you do it. And I tell them, when I say it ain't nothing but the grace of God.
It's nothing but the grace of God.
Because I could be in a straitjacket right now. Literally.
But you're not.
But I'm not.
But you're not.
I'm not. And I told the Lord, I need you to help me stay focused. I need you to help me support these other women around me. Because there are 6 families that I know of from Birmingham at St. Jude. And so when I say he connecting all the dots, it's kind of like he hadn't brought us this far just to bring us this far. There's somebody else but that's coming behind us that's just going to need to know you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. It may not seem like it. You know, we don't see what he's doing, but he is connecting every single dot that you need connected.
Every dot. Man, this is so good. Before I let you land the plane on this, Desiree, I want to hear from you.
This has been very
Put the camera on you.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. I got it. Here we go. Oh, there we go. This just has been very inspiring. And right when we were getting ready to end, so me and Jessica did this whole beautiful episode, and we had no sound on the mic. So, but one of the bases of that particular episode, we talked about Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. And so right when you guys were finishing talking, that's what scripture came up, because we just don't know how the journey that God has for us, right? And so Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, this is going to be the Passion Translation. It says, trust in the Lord completely and do not rely on your own opinions. With all your heart, rely on him to guide you, and he will lead you in every decision that you make. Become intimate with him in whatever that you do, and he will lead you in wherever you go.
Yeah.
And so and if you just thinking about my own journey, Jessica can probably sit here and think about the journey that she's been on. And the one thing that I just remember and she's told me this, I know, like twice. So I know that the Lord is just trying to reassure me that, hey, the journey is not going to be what you may think it may be, but just know it's exactly what it's supposed to be, because I'm with you, right? Yeah. And so just listen to the start of your journey. You've had some issues with fibroids. You met your husband. Y'all out here living your best newlywed life. Now you gotten blessed with your children, and now it's like a wrench. Like, Lord, now what? But at the end of the day, like, he's had this whole path already mapped out for you guys. All we literally have to do is continue to walk the path, and so I'm grateful for you for coming and sharing your story. And I hope that those listening found hope and inspiration in their story. No matter where you are on your journey, just know that we're not walking this thing out by ourselves. God is always there, even if we don't feel like it. Sometimes we be like, I feel like I'm by myself, but just know he's always there. And if you just surrender your thoughts, surrender your mind, surrender the process to him, he's going to guide you and direct you in exactly the way that you should go. So just thank you so much. We're going to link all of Krystal Lynn's information for her foundation in the comments, you guys. And if you have a heart, it's not like if anytime somebody's asking for you to give something, like, don't give out of obligation, but if it's on your heart to do so, just be obedient. You just never know the seeds that you're planting in the ground. And in order to get a harvest, okay, you gotta be planting seeds. And the more seeds that you're planting, the more that your harvest will come. So just thank you so much for just sharing your beautiful story.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
and I'm gonna tag along with that. Like, not only that, but I know y'all heard, and I didn't tap into that for a reason, because I heard what the Lord was leading us to, because it's going to get there. But I do not want to neglect the fact that she is more than just a mom to Krystal Lynn, but she was first a wife to Mr. Boman. And we believe in kingdom marriages. We believe in sowing and those. And so if anybody wants to do sowing to their date nights, gift cards or whatever, we'll make sure that they get that. Like, if y'all send it to JessAsk, just put Boman donation, and I'll make sure you get it. Like, we're gonna make sure, because I don't want to get it twisted with the nonprofit or whatever, but I ain't no nonprofit, so we can get that sent to you. But just put it under there as Boman donation, and we're gonna send it directly to them, so they can go have date night, or they can take care of a bill that they need, because this is what this is about.
It's kingdom work, baby.
It's kingdom work. And so if you want to sow into them, just make sure you put Boman seed, okay? Put Boman seed, and maybe we'll have a link up by then, okay? But no, this is fertile ground, and whatever your need is, and I even decree and declare before this episode airs that all of it will be taken care of, that this shall be overflow. What you experience from this platform and the platforms that you should go continuously speak with, that's going to be overflow. That's going to be overflow. And so, man, we're coming in and unifying with you. But if you sow this seed, and it's specifically for Boman, I need for y'all to put Boman seed in the subject line, so we can get them taken care of. They can have date night. They can pay a bill. They can do whatever they need to do for their household, okay?
I love it.
All right. So you together right now? Because the camera finna come back to you. All right. All right. So I know you've said a lot. I know that there's a lot that's been said or whatever, but on this platform, we like to give you the final say. So whatever's on your heart, whether you want to land the plane with, say, Jude, your nonprofit, whatever, however you want to end this thing, the floor is yours.
Okay. So she does have a Facebook page as well. It's called Standing with Krystal, and her name is spelled KRYSTALYN. I want to land it with something that has kept me grounded.
Take your time.
It's Proverbs 18:10. And it says, "The name of the Lord is a strong fortress, and the godly run to him and are safe." That has been my saving grace, because things change around you, circumstances change, people change, circumstances change. But the Lord is consistent.
Yeah.
He's consistent in everything that he does. The grace that he extends towards us, thank you, the hope that he gives. And so I just want to encourage that if he did it before, he'll do it again. And that's how I'm going to end it, because don't give up on him. He is the same God that he was when things happened back then, things that are happening right now, and the things that are to come. He is consistent. So do not give up on him. Don't turn your back on him, because he's not going to do that to you. So that's how I'm going to end it, because
No,
yeah.
it's you deserve. Listen, do not be ashamed of the tears. Do not, like, those are, God is just continuously working the miracle, and he is continuously proving like that he's consistent, like you just said.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that you came here. Thank you so much for being open to share your story on JessAsk the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We can't wait to just continue to help. But I just feel like oh, how can we help? But this is what step one.
And we're not going to overlook the fact of how you prayed for me. We're not going to overlook that. I'm not overlooking it. I'm not overlooking it at all. No, ma'am. We're not overlooking it. We're not going to put that whole interaction to the side. We're not doing that. Keep letting the Lord use you in however he sees fit.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, I'm not overlooking that.
We love you. We love you,
y'all.
Krystal.
Thank
Krystal,
y'all.
not Miss Boman. Krystal. Y'all, yes. I know some people probably think I'm insensitive. I'm over here fighting tears, y'all, so we got to land the plane. I'm trying not to be crying with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's happy tears, I promise.
It's listen, but I'm just, because God is so good. Mm-hmm. God is so good. And so if you heard her story and you feel led to sow, if you heard her story and you feel led and you need more information, go to her page. Her information is in the description, okay? Yeah. She wants to help you. She wants your child to be well. So if you're experiencing some of the same things that she experienced, listen, this is why you landed here. It's not by happenstance that you landed here, okay? And so we just thank God for this moment. We thank you, Krystal, for coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Desiree.
Hey, girl.
It's been another great one.
It's been
But
amazing.
until next time, until next week, remember, life could be much more simple if you just ask.
What's up, you guys? We hope you've enjoyed that conversation, but make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification so you don't miss an episode. We'll see you next Thursday.